Hey, my name is Lauren, and I've been going to the Journey now for 4 years. I serve on the production team, so I can tell you I'm more comfortable on that side of the camera, definitely. Growing up, I had a very difficult childhood, and I learned really quickly that I was different from the other kids. They had a lot of questions for me. I wasn't living with my parents at the time, so I learned pretty quickly how to put up some good walls and how to stuff in some feelings and put on a brave face so they wouldn't know that I was hurting or couldn't see what was going on inside. So no matter what, I always kept that guard up, and so unfortunately that followed me throughout my childhood and adulthood as well, into some other circumstances. And 2018 was a difficult year for me for various reasons, and starting in April, I started to have a real struggle with anxiety. I'd always been a worrier ever since I was little, but this was different. And so it started becoming apparent to those around me, which is the last thing I ever wanted. And so fast forward into 2019, a few months ago, Matt did a series, in the Meantime series, and that second message, The Best Worst Gift, I was actually running screens that day, so I luckily got to hear that 3 times, and I needed to hear that 3 times because he talked about Paul, and I hadn't really thought about Paul that much before, but his story really started to resonate with me. So Paul reached out to God, and he didn't hear anything several times, and I could relate to that because I too had felt abandoned by God, and I was a little angry, didn't realize that he wasn't helping me out with that. So that 3rd time, Jesus said to him, "My grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in your weakness," which really hit home for me. And then Matt said that we need to share our story, and we need to share our struggles with people so they can see those gaps between what you can do and what God needs to fill in. And so then it hit me. I've been very selfish with not sharing these things and not letting people in that wanted to help me, because I wanted people to see God in those places that I knew I could not help myself. That Thursday night afterward, about 3 a.m, I had been sleeping that week, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I was laying there and praying to God, I know that you may not take this away, and this pain has a purpose, but you've got to help me figure something out because I can't do it anymore. And so I just kind of kept repeating that, and I heard him tell me, it's time to surrender. Unfortunately, that's only details I got, not with how or what. And so with the heightened state I was in and not getting any sleep, I tried to figure it out. Hours later, I started to understand what that meant. So I had to surrender to my friends that wanted to help me, admit I needed their help, but then also accept it. So that was my first step. And they jumped in, arms wide open, no questions asked. They were wonderful about that. And so the next part of surrender was to surrender to seeing doctors I didn't want to see, or counseling I didn't want to do, and then facing a diagnosis I did not want to deal with. And so that was very difficult, and I thought maybe that was the end of the surrender plan. And so I had some time in the next few days to reflect on things, and I spent some time talking to God with, okay, so we're out of this meantime now into the new normal. What's our next step? And he very clearly said to me, Lauren, you've got a last step of surrender here, and you got to give this all to me. Like, you've been giving me pieces of this, and you've been giving me a little bit of your trust, but you just got to give this all to me and trust that I can take care of it. And so I said, okay, I'm all in. And the days and weeks that followed were not easy, but I had this peace of, my Father's got this. And so I remember in counseling actually audibly saying, God is my Father, out loud, and that just changed everything for me. I want to be baptized today to show you those gaps and those weaknesses and what a part God played in that, and how me surrendering has changed everything for me. So people I want to thank for getting me here today: Christian Cruz for inviting me here in the first place, and then Brett for seeing something in me and reaching out to volunteer, because I didn't want to get to know people at that point, so that really helped me progress in a lot of ways. And then so many people that have helped me along the last year with the lead up into the crash of the meantime, and then the afterward. There have been so many supportive people that have helped with my recovery, that have checked on me and continue to check on me. My work family, my church family, especially the band production team and the Journey staff. I couldn't have done this alone, and they really helped along the way. My name is Lauren, and this is my journey.
Just so amazing. You know, every baptism that we do is special, but this one is just even more special. You know, to baptize a friend. We've been friends for over 8 years now. Gone on trips together, all of that. But to see how Lauren has grown, especially over this last year, has just been unbelievable. You know, we created this church for people to be able to explore, for people to be able to wrestle with. You know, and for Lauren, we were joking here about to be able to address the mess of, hey, life is messy, but Jesus has been there and he wanted to restore this relationship. And, you know, that's why we do this. That's why we set it up. This is why the band, we have, you know, all the music. It's why we have all the lights. It's why we have all these things. It's for this moment. And so for Lauren to be a part of that team, it's just an honor to celebrate with her today. If this is your first time ever, you know, seeing a Journey baptism, just know we like to go a little crazy. There may be air horns in the crowd. I have no idea. There may be confetti cannons. I don't know what's going to happen. But just know that we want to celebrate big because this is celebration worthy. And so please join me in baptizing Lauren in the name of the Father and the Son